What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins, West Ham Fan TV, back once again with another post-match pint. The only West Ham United post-match water show on the internet. We've just come back virtually from the London Stadium. End of season game, last game of the season. It was safe, nothing to play for. It was West Ham 1, Aston Villa 1. They kept them up, of course. Who am I going to pick on? Graham, take me to the line up.
All right, got to remember it now. Fabianski in goal. Johnson left back. Ogbonna Diop centre half. Fredericks right. Souček, Noble and Rice in the middle. Fornells left. Bowen right. And Antonio up front on his own.
I remember. To be fair, the way the other games were going, it was always going to go like this, wasn't it?
It was a poor game. Poor game.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of games. You know, Aston Villa obviously fighting for their lives at the bottom. I was expecting the games be a bit more open than what it was. With the starting lineup, though, I'm surprised he didn't change it around a bit and maybe put Bowen on the bench and Antonio on the bench, give him a little bit of a rest and maybe start someone like Haller and Lanzini or someone like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that the West Ham players weren't interested today, but they know their job's done. Some of the players, I mean, Bowen looked very leggy, and he's worked his socks off especially the last 4 or 5 games. So,
well, he was playing with a knock apparently. Apparently, he picked up a knock in the Man United game. So that's why
that's what I'm saying. Maybe they should have benched him for today and maybe brought him on. But yeah, I mean,
Yarmolenko.
Yeah, Johnson filling in at left back. I thought he had a great game today. He don't let you down, does he? He's right side or left side. He looks like he could probably play centre back as well if you give him the chance.
I was disappointed not to see Masuaku start because I would like to have Johnson on the right and seen Masuaku on the left because I thought he did well when he came on against Man United. Masuaku.
Well, Masuaku weren't even on the bench.
No, apparently he got injured. He picked up a knock or a back injury last night or something like that. But
maybe that's one of the reasons. Maybe that's one of the reasons. Well, obviously, if he might have been fit, he might have started him.
I was saying to Dan in the stream, I think it was I had a bit of a tin hat moment with Cresswell and Masuaku. Like all of a sudden, between 3 days, they've both pulled out with injuries. I was saying to Dan that maybe it's a case of, you know, Moyes started to tell people that they're going to be on their way, and it might have been a case of them two going, well, you know, I don't fancy it then, you know, and you know, for both to. I know that Cresswell got a knock against United, so it was him. But Masuaku, especially, just to pull out, you know, as last minute as that, it might be a case of he's starting to let people know. And I think, to be fair, looking at the starting lineup, but you know, saying that Bowen had a knock and the people that we had on the bench, I think it's quite telling that Moyes just doesn't fancy some of these players, some of these fancy Dans that you know that that are on big money and have not give their all for the team. In my opinion, I'm not going to, you know, I know it's not everyone, but in my opinion,
he sees him every day, doesn't he? Sees him every day in training, so he's, you know, he'll see what effort they're putting in.
But to start, you know, Bowen, an injured Bowen over Anderson, you know, a record signing last year, Yarmolenko, Lanzini. You know, it just tells me all I need to know. It shows me that he's not looking at these players to be part of next season's squad. Otherwise, they would have started.
It's a chance to put them in the shop window, you'd think, a bit, though, if you're looking to sell them and get him some game time.
The way they've performed, they won't want to fucking display them.
I put them in the warehouse at the back.
I mean, like I said to you, Nick, during the stream, is I think it's just a case of they just don't fit. They don't fit the system. They're a square peg in a round hole, and I think you put them somewhere else, I think they'd be good. I think if you put them into the right team with the right setup, with the right players around them, I think they're good players. But it's a completely different system to what we're trying to do.
I was going to say it was a weird game today because it was like a typical end of season game, and both teams had nothing to play for. It didn't feel like Aston Villa had to win that game. I mean, it might have been a bit different if Antonio would have put that chance away in the first half. Obviously, us being 1-0 up, they would have had to go for it a bit more. But yeah, I think today, I mean, it's just one of them games, isn't it? I know I'm happy that we stayed up, but there was a part of me thinking, just for the entertainment value of today, that I wish there was something. I wish we was in that we had to win the game, because it might have been a bit more interesting. You know, I just started to get a little bit bored after about 60 odd minutes.
We were right. I don't think my nerves would have been able to take it if it was that the game. To be honest with you, because I don't think, as I said, like we've been very good since we've come back, bar them 2 games against Wolves and Tottenham. You know, would have wanted it to be risky. It would have meant that we would have done a bit worse than we did. You know, a loss to Chelsea would have put us down there. You know, I don't know. I'm glad that we're up. I'm glad that we're safe and all of that, and it just makes watching the football a little bit more easier. But
I just think, you know, you owe it to. I know we're safe, so you should say, "Oh, we don't care about other teams." But if you're a Bournemouth fan looking at how we play, where I don't think we looked interested. No, you owe it as a professional. You owe it to to fans and clubs to put the effort in.
There's a lot of players there that watch Callum Wilson slap it in the fucking back of the net and then claim it as a goal.
Yeah, I don't think West Ham went out on that pitch thinking we don't want to win today. They obviously had a chance. If Antonio would have.
I just think playing that previous games, it just looked like we was way below par today.
Yeah, but if you look at, I just think that when we play against teams like that do sit back a bit, we really struggle. We really struggle to break them down, like Burnley and teams like that. Yeah. We seem to have a hard time really figuring out how to break them down. And because what I noticed is we're too slow. You know, when we try and break, sometimes it's trying to get that final ball. Sometimes we might stop and look to the side, and it gives them a chance to get all their players back in the box, and then we ain't got any ideas.
Well, the thing is, you're right there, because they had 10 behind the ball today. When we had the ball, they had Sam Matter on the halfway line. We ain't got the sort of players that can break down. We haven't got like a De Bruyne or a David Silva in our team that can make something happen and, you know, unlock them when you got 10 behind the ball. So it was tough for us today. It was like, you know, it was like a training game for West Ham in the sense that you're playing against 10 behind the ball to show how we can break them down. And, you know, when I look at the stats, we only had 1 shot on target in the whole game. They had 4. So we didn't really
shot that went in.
Yeah, we didn't really test Pepe Reina enough.
You say about obviously not having a De Bruyne or anyone like that. Do you think that's why? And I'm not comparing these players to De Bruyne. What I'm similar sort of style is like when he brought on like a Lanzini, he brought on Anderson, didn't he? And Yarmolenko, they're a bit more skillful, a bit more tricky players. Obviously,
well, you see when Lanzini come on, he won that free kick just outside the box. You know, I know Lanzini's not the Lanzini of old, but he still can create something. People say he looks lazy and that, but he's not been playing a lot of football. So, but I thought when he come on, especially when he won that free kick on the edge of the box, which was wasted by him. I mean, usually we've seen Lanzini stick them in the top corner.
I was thinking, because I see Ben Johnson was to his left, completely unmarked, wide open. I thought he could have played it to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson either, has a shot or he crosses it, and then Ale gets on the end of it. You know, it was like you said.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad Declan Rice didn't have a shot.
Nick, how annoyed was I getting with Declan Rice during that game? He was turning into Antonio with his shots outside the box. I know he scored a worldie.
Hammer of the year, he deserves it.
Listen, I know.
The thing is, you're saying about like not breaking down. Like you say, with the free kick we won, when we did little 1-2 touch stuff around the edge of the box, caused me a few problems. And also when we got Johnson 1-on-1 with their fullback, he put a couple of decent crosses in, but we didn't do it enough.
Yeah, the problem we had as well is Jack Grealish had the beating of Fredericks all day long down that left side today. Fredericks was getting frustrated. You could see that he had a poor game for me. Fredericks today, his touch is awful. Awful.
As a footballer, he's fucking terrible.
We don't even really get to see him use his best attribute much, which is his pace. I never really see him bombing down, and with the ball over the top, and he's beating players and stuff. I never really get to see that pace, and it's disappointing, really, because I had high hopes for him.
he is one of the quickest players in the Premier League, and as you said, like he doesn't use that enough. But it's just like sometimes he runs and he don't take the ball with him.
He came forward one time, right? He burst forward. He had the ball. He went past one, went right in the middle of the pitch, and then all of a sudden, I don't know how he's lost control of the ball. He's left the ball behind, and had to halt himself. You know, he was running at defenders with one side and one the other side, and he just fucking completely took his eye off the ball, completely fucking fucked up the chance. And every time they pass it, and this goes through the whole West Ham team, they never pass it into an area where no one can run onto it. We always seem to be going backwards to get the ball. You know, they always seem to pass it behind them and all. It's just sometimes I just find it lazy. I just find it a bit frustrating. And I think today it sort of gives us a stark reminder of what we struggled for the last 3 or 4 years, and that's breaking down things that put big behind the ball. And you know,
there was a couple of times we broke, and it was a case of like if we just slipped the ball in early, we was away. But
that was the problem. Yeah,
dilly-dallied on the ball, and it allowed Villa to funnel back, and then the chance is gone.
When I say it was like a training game today, it's like Declan Rice shooting from how far out. You know, you don't usually see him do that. Souček today was very quiet as well. Wasn't getting himself about, and I think the players had that feel of, look, we're safe. It's last game of the season. Don't want to pick up any stupid injuries. That's why Antonio was taking off at half time. You know, he was on a yellow. He was sliding in left, right, and centre today. So David Moyes obviously looked at that and think, look, I don't want you picking up a silly rig. You know, so it just had that feel today that it was an end of season game, and
I would have rather really kept Antonio on a little bit longer because he's our biggest threat. I know he was on the yellow. No, but you just say to him, but you just say to him at half time, like, go easy on the tackles, because usually, I mean, how often does Antonio get booked?
Just before half time, he made a tackle. And I think it was on John McGinn, and the referee looked at him and said pointed up his finger saying one more, like, so basically I think he knew he was on a tightrope.
I'll be honest, I thought the booking was a little bit harsh. Antonio's booking, I thought it was a bit harsh.
You know what? The ref was doing my head in, because he was blowing up for everything, every single challenge. It was get his whistle out. It was a foul. It was just.
But that suited Villa though, because it broke the flow of the game up. It suited them. You know, that's what they needed. They needed it to be a scrap.
What was that, Nick?
Michael Oliver was obviously the same ref who forgot to turn on the goal line technology, wasn't he?
Yeah, so maybe he was doing them a bit of a favour today. You know?
He might be a secret Villa fan, isn't it? Because he forgot to turn on the goal line technology when they conceded, and today he was fucking put in and stopping, breaking up the game and all sorts of things. I can't stand him as a ref. He's a little chav.
I think look, we've been quite positive hope for the boys over the last couple of weeks and all that. You know, when you start to look at it today, and it's not the performance today, but when you start to reflect on the season, we know it's over. We know where we are. We're 16th in the table. We're the 5th shittest team in the league. And I'm a firm believer of one of these saying, like, you are where you deserve to be at the end of the season. You know, the table doesn't lie. We deserve to be there. To be fair, there is so many times when, even after lockdown finished, where if these other teams would have been a little bit better, we'd have found ourselves in a bit of a pickle today.
We've rode our luck massively, mate. We've rode our luck massively, and other results have helped us out this season. There's no denying that. But I also think that we've picked up some great results since lockdown come back. The Chelsea win.
We've played well, right?
We've been done by a few times as well. We had them few times, them goals that were ruled out with that stupid handball rule. A few times we've been let down by VAR times. A few times, so it's in its swings and roundabouts, isn't it? And like you said, over the course of the season, like we deserve where we are where we deserve to be. So
I mean, someone's just down in the comments. I'm just reading the comments as they're coming in. I don't really read them, so
on post-match Pint, you mean?
Yeah, on post-match Pint, I don't really read them, so. I don't normally take this, but Bournemouth will feel aggrieved today because of technology and the way that technology has come to some big teams' aid and given the smaller teams a little bit of a kick in at times, and and you've got the Villa controversy with the goal line technology not working on that day. I mean, if you can't make sure that it's working every day, don't have it.
Yeah, but then Bournemouth can't look at that one game and they've been poor for a long time.
Yeah,
they can appeal as much as they want. They're never going to overturn it. Never in a million years. They'll
never put Bournemouth in the league and take Villa out because it opens a precedent. But
they won't do it. But
you can look back to the year we stayed up under Kerbishley when Tevez scored at Old Trafford and when we stayed up. You look at that running when we beat Blackburn away, Zamora shot and Tevez cleared it off the line, and that was give us a goal. You know, Sheffield United and Wigan and all them could have appealed that, but you can't go back on that decision now. It's done and dusted, and at the end of the day, look,
I think people will take human error, right? I mean, you can't feel human error. It's when technology fails because you're meant to be, you're becoming so reliant on technology in the game.
And this is it's like free.
Should have been appealed straight away.
Well, I don't know what the procedures are, but obviously Bournemouth at that time there was nothing to appeal because they weren't down. But they're looking at it by 1 point. By 1 point, obviously they can't. They're never going to get put back in the league, but they can get compensation. And this is what I was saying to Nicky before: is they had three opportunities, right, for that goal to be given. First was the goal line technology didn't work. Second was the linesman. I don't know how we didn't see it. Third was VAR. They decided not to do anything about it. But then, it's complete. To me, I would ask some question. I would be asking some sort of question. I think an investigation needs to be done. I'm not saying for a fact that there is corruption around it, but this has never happened before. In as long as we've had goal line technology in this league, this hasn't happened, and it's happened then. So there has to be, I thought, at least an investigation. Because we've had in this.
Where do you draw the line, though, Dan?
No, because
every time a team feels aggrieved by something, it'll set a precedent, isn't it?
No, because it's not. It's a whole different thing, Gray. It's not like a ref getting a decision wrong. There's no sometimes when it's is it offside? It's a fraction here. It's a different thing completely. This is the one time this technology decides it's not working, and with the history of match fixing in this sport, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's definite. It's worth looking into. That's all I'm saying.
There's not no match fixing because they see it at half time that it was a goal. They could have given that goal then, but
can they though? Can they give a goal at half time?
No, but what they could have done is they could have gone out for the second half and let Sheffield United score.
But because the thing is,
that happened with Leeds and Aston Villa, wasn't it? Funny enough,
at the very least. They have to come out and apologise to Bournemouth. That's the minimum. That's bare minimum. At the most, they need to give them a big payout. I think they need to give them some money because, like I said, that one goal over your poxy fucking technology not working, and Hawkeye maybe sack them off and get someone else. This is what I was saying to Nicky. There's no consequences.
Then they're going to have to give it to Watford because Watford are in the same situation.
No. Every VAR decision that they've got wrong.
You're wrong, Nick.
They're going to have to compensate every team.
No, it's not VAR. It's not VAR. It's not VAR.
Okay, but how many times then has VAR been wrong? But goal line technology has been wrong once.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Yeah, but VAR still comes to a person's decision. It's still an interpretation, right? This isn't an interpretation. This is literally the thing did not. Either someone didn't turn it on or it didn't work. This isn't someone in a room. This isn't someone in the room deciding, yeah, maybe we should give that.
But then VAR could have given that goal.
Yeah, but
that's not
notified the referee.
Yeah, of course it could. But you don't put all the blame on VAR. The first thing is the goal line technology. Is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean?
There's three systems there. You've got the referee, VAR.
Exactly.
One doesn't work, the other two are working.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying just because you say we need to do. Well, you were wrong about the Watford thing, Nick, because Watford can't appeal anyway. Because even if that stood, they'd still go down. On goal.
Anyway, well, at least there won't be the big scramble for away tickets at Bournemouth next season.
Yeah.
The thing is, I do get what you're saying, Dan. I do think you're right in a way, but I don't think that they can do anything. The only thing they can get now is a sort of compensation payout.
Yeah, that's what I think should happen. They should get a bit of money. Of money.
I mean, yeah, all right, they get a compensation payout. I mean, there's no way they can put them back in the Premier League and like that. So, because so much has gone on since that incident happened. But
yeah, because really, Villa didn't do anything wrong. It weren't them who did it. So you can't take Villa out. As much as like they've stayed up as a result of it, they weren't their fault. So you can't take them out. But yeah, give them some money. Simple. They've got all this money. The Premier League have all this money.
Or send them on their way.
That's what I mean.
Chuck 20 quid in the bath and some. I'm not
give them more Nando's voucher or something and say, see you later, boys.
A club the size of Bournemouth as well, going down into the Championship, not being able to have fans in the ground, right? So then, and not going to have as much money, it's going to really hurt that club, you know. So
they still get
the repercussions. The parachute thing.
Yeah, they still get parachute for a few years, mate.
Parachute payment is a lot of money.
Yeah, but how long does that? Do you know what I mean? They might never come back up. That might never come back up.
That's their fault. They should have stayed up this year.
Yeah, well, they would have if the goal line. If that would have been us, let's be real. If that had been West Ham who went down because of that, we would have been raging. This whole post-match pint, we'd have been setting our asses on fire.
Yeah, but I would say if they don't get enough points on the board in the first place.
No, but it's still it's a 38 competition game. Like every game,
technically, though, Dan, they would still be down on goal difference, even if they had got that point.
Why?
Because they're on minus 25 on 34, so they'd have both been on 35.
No, 34, because Villa would have lost.
Because they would have lost. So they
won that
game. Yeah. No, do you know what? One team I am glad to see go though is Watford. To be fair, I see Troy Deeney on the telly a little while ago, and he's Watford's a good away day, but the thing is with Troy Deeney, the way he celebrated in front of West Ham that time, he's never been loved over West Ham. It's good to see him sort of. Almost in tears.
I'm honest with you, mate. I think he creates enemies at times.
Yeah, but he been getting stick that day though when they played us because I don't recall him getting any stick off us.
No,
when a few fans, I always hear a few fans shout at him, "Hey, you guys!" every time we play him. So I don't know if he heard that.
For the calls, you know what I mean. You should rise up against that if there's one or two. But yeah, he's one of them players that creates his own enemies. You know, no one gives a shit about Troy Deeney. At the end of the day, he's the one who sort of started the rift, and you know.
Do you know what? I could just see it now. In about 2 weeks' time, West Ham signed Troy Deeney from Watford.
He's great.
I love Troy Deeney, best player we've had.
I mean, look, if he wants to have a little bit of banter and a little bit of that, I ain't got a problem with it. It's more so their owners, like the way their club is run and that they deserve to go down. Like they sacked their manager. They sacked their manager two games to go and left Aidan Mullins in charge, who hasn't got any experience at all going into the Man City and Arsenal. They shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, the thing is with Troy Deeney as well, he's a bit of attitude like an Arnautovic. When they play for you, you love it, but when they're against you, you can't stand them. So,
but I wouldn't take
Watford are down. Yeah. I think in the last 12 years, I think one manager has lasted. Two managers have lasted more than 12 months.
Yeah, I'm surprised they lasted this long. To be fair.
I think someone put it up earlier that Norwich, Watford, and Bournemouth all come up together 5 years ago, and now they've all gone down in the same season. I know that
Watford have been Norwich.
They've been down since then, but they all come up because Bournemouth have been in the Premier League a lot longer than what people expected. They
5 years. That was 5 years.
Their first season was the year at the last season at the Boleyn, wasn't it? Because I remember them beating us there. So
I'm interested to see what happens with Eddie Howe. Where he goes, if he stays at the club and tries to get him back up, or he moves on, or what.
I'll be very surprised if they sacked him because I think if he wants to stay there, they've got to show him a bit of loyalty from where he's taken them.
He deserves to stay, but it's not rather him being sacked. But do you think he might leave and go for a new challenge, and because obviously he's been linked with loads of clubs, including us.
I think there'll be a few clubs after him. So he might look to move on and want a new challenge in his career. But Anyway, let's talk about West Ham.
He's not coming to West Ham. We know that. We know he's not coming to West Ham. We got Moyes for another season.
Managers, David Moyes. I mean, he's love him or hate him. He's done the job again that he's been, paid to do, and we know this time that, unless there's a Sullivan fucking breakdown, I think he's going to be our manager for next season. I think he's, to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of his style of football, but he's earned his chance. We said this last week. I think he's earned his chance. I think he's earned his chance to build a squad that he wants to. But when I look at the West Ham squad, and we've talked about this on the stream, is that we've got players there that are real good players. Anderson's a real good player. Haller's a real good player. But the problem we've got is we've got a bit of a mishmash. This is my opinion, of style of players. We've got too many players in certain positions. We've got too many, completely different in other positions. They don't gel together. There's no sort of identity in the way we play, and the way that we sign these players is, as I said, we fucking scattergun, we shotgun bids to everyone. We put in bids for everyone and make sure one comes. I think what we need to do going forward is give David Moyes a chance to put his stamp on the squad and get rid of. And I think he has been given a license. If you go by the players that were benched today, some big earners, Haller, I'm not sure we'll see him again. To be honest with you, I think if another club come in for Sebastian Haller, I think he might be on his way. Obviously, Lanzini doesn't fancy Anderson. He doesn't fancy Wilshere. Probably will be around next year just because we won't be able to get rid. Masuaku seems to be on his way out. Yarmolenko could be on his way out. But it gives Moyes, with all the money that will come in from them, it gives Moyes a chance to put his stamp on the squad. And I think this is the thing. We done brilliantly to get the likes of Anderson and Haller in the club. The way being in relegation battles and all of that sort of bollocks for the last few years, bar last year. I think we've done really well to get them players in the team. But what we haven't done is we haven't concentrated on the core of the team. We haven't concentrated on building a real big spine and a solid base of the side, so to speak. Fullbacks, we need a couple of decent fullbacks. You can't get very far in modern football without fullbacks. We've abandoned that position. A central midfield partner for Rice until Souček come. We looked for years and years and years for a central defensive midfielder, not just for Rice but for Noble when he was the golden boy. A couple of them come in, they done well for a season and then just drifted off.
And
built a good spine of the squad, and when you get that basis, that spine is then when you can start adding the likes of Haller, that's a real class player. But in the side that we've got at the minute with the way we play, they're just out their depth. They don't fit.
I think you're right. David Moyes definitely deserves a chance. He's kept us up twice now. He definitely deserves a shot at it from the beginning of the season. And as you said, he's got to be backed by a Golden Sullivan. We might have to ship some players out, and the players you've mentioned now, some of them probably will go. But no, look, David Moyes definitely deserves a chance. He's got to get the fans. I think he's won a few fans around. There's a lot of people that were dead against him. I mean, I still see some people on Twitter saying after the game saying Moyes out and all things like that. And I'm just like, look, you got to give the bloke a chance. He's earned it. He's come back to us. He's not kicked up any fuss. He's just got on with it. And
who else are we going to get right now? Who else?
The first 19 games under Pellegrini, we got 19 points. The 19 games under Moyes, we got 20 points. So there's not much difference there. It's by a point. But I think some of the football we've played under Moyes, even before lockdown, you look at Liverpool away, Arsenal, we was playing some decent stuff. You could see something building.
I'll be honest with you.
I was going to say,
go on.
Well, I know you said earlier, Nick, like you weren't a fan of his style of football, but I agree with Ryan. I think we played some decent stuff under Moyes.
Yeah, to be fair, you can't really. I think that's a very harsh way to judge the two managers, saying like they're not that different, because Pellegrini got a pre-season with them all. Pellegrini got a chance to mould them into what he wants to. It's a bit like when you start a game of chess. You know, when you start a game of chess, if you get halfway through and you're not doing that well, when someone takes control halfway through the game and they haven't made the moves and they haven't made the mistakes that you've already made, I think it's a bit tough to judge them on the second half of the season. I think taking over,
but a lot of people are.
Yeah, because they're just cunts. Why a lot of people?
Oh.
And they just can't. No, I don't mean to be rude. I class myself as one of them because I was dead against him.
No, but listen. That's fine to be against him. It's that, but be fair. Look, if you didn't want him in the start, give credit where it's due. And at the time, look, everyone knows I was against him, and I still stand by a lot of my criticism of certain things of his game management. However, you have to give him credit for what he's done, and as well, even if we can look back and say, right, the points he's got or whatever, right. He still, I think, you've got to want to see what he wants to do, what he can do with a full season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He deserves a pre-season. He deserves a summer transfer window, and he deserves to start next season. Yep. But I just don't want, and I hope that some fans who don't like Moyes, from the beginning of next season are right on his back straight away.
I think clean slate. I think next season, going his fresh slate, forget it all. Let's act like as if he is, it's his first season, because it is. It's his first full season, not coming in trying to keep us up, right? So let's treat it like it's our first season. Forget the past, clean slate, right?
We see people on Twitter saying about we was linked with Ryan Fraser, and they're all saying, "Oh, what is this meant to be next level?" This is what is the problem with West Ham fans. Some of them is that some of us think that we are bigger than what we are. We need to start. We need to start again, and we need to start rebuilding, because we've been at the London Stadium. This is our 4th season now. We've been 3 relegation battles out of 4. It's not good enough. But then you can't turn your nose up at players like fucking Ryan Fraser on a free because they don't fit we're next level club. We've got to get past all that next level shit because it hasn't worked out.
Sadly, I can see why people
are a solid top half of the table side.
I can see why people are upset about the next level because we was promised it, but because of what?
No, I'm sorry, but you're not going to go from the bottom to the top, even if you're walking up a fucking flight of stairs. Bottom level to the first level. There's a lot of steps in between that. You have to treat every single one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't turn around and say, "Oh, right, one day we've got Ryan Fredericks, the next day, oh, we're going to go and get fucking, I don't know, Wan-Bissaka or fucking, a big player like that, or someone from Real Madrid or Barcelona." That just ain't going to fucking happen.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
go from fucking signing, what's his name? The geezer just left, Carlos Sanchez.
Yeah.
What? And the next level? What's the next level? Bruno Fernandes? It just ain't fucking possible.
Yeah.
Like going from the ground level to the first level, there's a lot of steps in between, and you've got to take every single step.
What I'm saying.
Go on.
No, I'm just saying what I'm saying, because I wasn't disagreeing with what you were saying. I'm saying where this next level thing came from is when we moved to the stadium, we was promised next level. We was being linked with players like Lacazette and all of this, and we was going to get Champions League. And we looked like we was going to push on, and they was investing some money. But what people have failed to realise is how far backwards we have gone since that move to this stadium, right? And because we've gone so far backwards, like you say, now we need to forget about trying to push on to Europe. We need to stabilise in this league.
I don't think we've gone that far backwards.
I don't think we've gone that far backwards, but there's a lot
we've
of
gone back from the plan, from our ambitions, from where we're trying to.
There's a lot of teams that have improved more than us, and that's why they're in the top half of the table. And the thing is, with this next level stuff, when people tell you the next level and that, we automatically thought it was going to be big major signings and things like that. But and we was let down. But it's time now to move on from that, sort of start again, and just start to. Because next level for us now, and I know it sounds fucking mad to say this, because I never thought, is you've got to start looking to aim to be a top 10 Premier League team. And then you've got the next level after that is trying to break into sort of Europa League. This club is a long way off from ever challenging top 4, because we won't have the investors and under this ownership to do it. But never say never. It could happen in the future. We could get bought out, but we've just got to concentrate on now. And the level of players that we can sign and attract at this football club is, because it is an attractive football club, but we've got to realise that we're not as big as some West Ham fans think we are.
Yeah, look, the reason I'm saying I don't think we've gone that far backwards is because if you look at the season before, the last season at the Bowling, we were shit. We were shit.
No, but in terms of our goals, isn't it?
Yeah, but
you admit
special player, Dan, that made everything tick. And
but Nick, you was on camera saying we'd finish 5th. Like we all thought we'd finish. I was saying 7th. I said 8th. But we all did, because where we was going and what we was investing, what I'm saying is, in all of our mindset, we was looking at that area of the table, innit? Now, realities, we've come back down to reality. Now, in all our minds, we just think, shit, we need to stabilize mid-table for a while and settle and then grow gradually. So we have gone backwards in that respect, not in terms of actually physically on the pitch and what we're achieving.
No, but what I'm saying is we need to be a consistent top 10 team. Like even the worst we can finish is 10th, top half. But anything, and then we aim to move for Europa, because Europa League should be an ambition for West Ham. Yeah, we should be, because you attract better players when you get into these European competitions.
Do you know what I said? You know what the sad thing is about that, right? Is when we came up, right, with Big Sam, I remember we was all having those conversations. Obviously, West Ham fans, if it didn't exist, but I'm sure you was having this conversation with all your mates. I was having it with my mates and family. We was having the same conversation. What we need to do is go up and stabilize, be in the league for a bit, establish ourselves as a top 10 team, not be in a relegation battle, and then build and grow on there. And then, like 8 years later, we're back having that same conversation. So
I've seen a few people in the comments saying, no, it isn't time to move on, Ryan. I'm not talking about moving on from the owners. I'm talking about moving on from listening to that next level stuff and starting again. I'm not saying let's forget about the owners. That's the last thing I want to say.
I don't think it's a bad thing, though, to use it as a stick to beat them when you need it and hold it up to them and say, look, not to say that, you judge what we do in the transfer window off it and saying we can't get Ryan Fraser because he's not next level, but to say, board, like, remember, you said next level, by the way, when use it as a stick to beat the board with, because it should be, that's their words. Whether we believed it or not, it's another thing. They said it, and that was a reason they moved us to this ground. And it hasn't happened. So, throw it in their face. But however, realize we're not going to get, the big, sexy European names and all of that sort of thing. Realize where we are.
Well, we're never going to get anywhere near that while we're languishing at the bottom of the league. And we've languished towards the bottom of the league for 3 of the last 4 seasons. Yeah. And let's be fair, before the last season at the Bowling and the one under Pellegrini where we finished, what was it, 11th, 10th? 10th?
Yeah. Well, 10th under Pellegrini, that was like best start.
Finished there, but the 3 seasons before that were just as fucking bad. Like as a West Ham fan, I think, look, it's so easy to start to think, because we've got this big shiny new stadium and the promises we pay, but we have to be realistic with ourselves. We are West Ham United. We do this. We go round and round and round in fucking circles. Yeah. We have a good season and then we'll have 4 bad. It's never bothered me before, but I think the reason why it bothers so many people now is because of the promises. And absolutely correct. Hold them to their words, because they are the ones that fucking, let's be honest, I don't care what anybody says, they fucking lied. They lied to get us to that stadium without a fuss. Yeah. And
first, mate, I'd settle for trying to finish top 10 and win a cup.
But there's got to be a time where you have to just turn around and go, right, look, you're fucking barking up the wrong tree. You've got to realise, they've fucking done us. They've done us like fucking, like if you go and fucking get a score knocked off you by a con man and he runs away, you don't just stand in the same spot and expect him to come back and sort it out. Yeah, you have to move on at some point and just say, right, I've lost a score. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of them things you have to do. We've got to be realistic. Yeah, they've fucking done us like good uns. But to turn around and say people like Ryan Fraser's a lot better player than a good few of them that we've got at the club now. I think he's a lot better than Anderson. I think he's a lot better than Yarmolenko.
Well, he's a lot better, probably a lot better for our side. Yeah, he's a lot better for our side. Someone said actually in the comments Wolves have finished 7th both seasons. They came straight up. I think the difference is with Wolves is they're a much, much better run club. They're a much better run club. We are
only that. They've got better players than us. They've got goals.
Yeah, because they're a better run club. Because they're a better run club. They've identified the right players for their team and not gone out and gone, I'll have this.
But we've identified players that we thought could take us forward and it hasn't worked out.
Yeah, but because
that could have happened with Wolves.
Yeah, but because what what they've done is they've gone out but Nuno's has bought, gone out and identified a lot of these players, a lot of them from his home country, that all fit one philosophy of the way he wants to play. He's
don't they also come down to the coaching and managing, and maybe it's the manager getting the best out of his players.
Yeah, but at the same time, you've got to all have players that fit. Like I say, like having an Hernandez here or a Allaire there, who none of them fit what we're trying to do. And you got a Moyes, it's all mishmash. It's all none of it really fits. It's a weird collage of type of players rather than like everyone fits this system. You fit in this place, and that's the big problem with us. And with Wolves, like they've the way they play and their philosophy goes from the youth team all the way up to the first team, and the same with their policy. It's sort of like a harmonious type of, policy that they've got there. Whereas us, everything seems random. It's like, oh, this agent said we can get this bloke. Oh, we can get him. Let's just get him. Oh, he scored a few goals in that league. Rather than thinking like, oh, look, Allaire, he's brilliant in a 2 up top. We're going to play 2 up top. Yeah, let's play 2 up top and we'll sign him. Or why sign this guy who thrives in a strike partnership and sign him we've said it a million times, and sign him to be a lone striker? It don't make sense. This is the big problem.
That comes down to management. Gold and Sullivan don't manage the team.
No, but then why is he signed? Why is
Pellegrini? That was Pellegrini's choice to let Hernandez go and Perez go.
But this is the problem, Ryan. We don't know this, do we? We don't know who's running what, who's in charge of what, who has this say. That is the big problem with this club. The lines are so blurred.
Hernandez, Perez, Carroll, and all that going. Look, Perez and Carroll, I think, was always on the way out. The Hernandez one is stinky for me because it all happened after the transfer window closed. It was.
Yeah. Do you think Pellegrini would have been like, I'm happy to have one less striker and not bring anyone in to replace him? I mean, Bilic has come out and he's been very clear on how it was like to work with Golden Sullivan when it comes to transfers and what the situation was there. And do you know what I mean? It
always seems to me that the problem with West Ham at times is that, and this is, I've said this before, this is why I don't think managers work out for us. They work out for a season and then they, and then they start to break down their relationship. I don't think Moyes will, because I think Moyes is a different manager. But with Allardyce, I thought, towards the end of Allardyce's reign, although he brought us up and all of that sort of thing, we started playing some good football until they seemingly told him they wasn't going to renew his contract at the end of the season, and then we went to shit. When you get to Slaven Bilic, very good first season at the Bowling.
Yeah, but all right, you go back to that Slaven Bilic season. Look how many signings we made in that pre-season, and they all clicked, and everyone was buzzing. It all worked out.
I think that was a little,
and that they weren't players. He bought players in all different positions of that season.
Season? Final Bowling season.
Yeah, when Bilic, when we signed Antonio, what's his name, Payet, Lanzini. All them sort of players we brought in. None of them knew who these players were, but they all clicked. And it all worked out. At the end of that season, we was all buzzing.
Yeah, but Nicky's
management. Surely
Nicky's saying it works for one season and then it all falls apart. Like, there's obviously a section of management.
I can tell you why. It's because the management sees the way that the club is being run, and the fact that they haven't got the ambit. Like, let's be fair, they was all fucking giving us all the bollocks about Lacazette and all of that, but Backer and all of that sort of thing. They went out to bid for Lacazette and they started bidding sort of £3-4 million underneath his valuation and all of that sort of stuff. They was never serious about getting them players. And the managers start to realise that, and the players start to realise that and think, I think they're having us over a barrel here. And as I said before, in signing players, there is so much that goes into it. It's a weird club, West Ham, because why not pay £50 million for Lacazette and show some ambition, but go and pay £45 million for Haller, but you're trying to get someone else and all that. There's no, so much goes into
because players like Lacazette look at one thing. They look at Champions League football, European football. If you had the choice between Arsenal and West Ham, you're going to choose Arsenal all day long. There's no denying it. West Ham's not a pulling club for players like Lacazette. When you say that Haller, yes, Haller is a similar type of player to Lacazette, but we've got more chance of getting Haller than a Lacazette, because Lacazette's been playing in Champions League football for how many seasons?
And now he ain't kicked a ball in Champions League since he came, which is the irony. He ain't
kicked but that's the decision, the choice he made. Well, we've been to come to West Ham, they've been in fucking relegation battles. So
they gamble you take, isn't it?
They knew that they wasn't going to get that. They was worried about maybe fucking pulling off a bit of a coup, and they turn around and go, yeah, all right, we'll sell them to you for that money. I think that's how they always sort of undervalued the players. But it comes down to, so as I said before, so much goes into a signing. They have, other clubs that are organised. They've got their vision. They've got their plan. They know this. They identify the sort of players they want to sign. They go out and get them players. If they can't get them players, then they have to go and do all the work again. There's things like psychologists that go into it. They look into the background of, whether if they've got a good injury record, if they've got a good rapport with their teammates, are they troublemakers, are they ex-fucking cons, or, all of that sort of stuff. They look at all of that stuff. And they have departments to identify these things. Yeah. Whereas West Ham, they ain't got fucking scouts.
No, we have agents. We use agents.
We've got agents identifying the transfers, and we've got David Sullivan trying to do everything. Now, I don't think that David Sullivan, is. I think he tries to damage the club? Not really. But what I think he does do is he lives in the past, and he thinks it's Birmingham City in 1991. You know what I mean? But it's not. The Premier League is such a different place when it comes to signings and spending money and all of that sort of thing. And, I think that we need to get someone in place. Sullivan just needs to be a silent partner from now on. You know what I mean? We've done too much talking in the past. They've done too much talking. They've whipped the fan base into a frenzy with some of the things they've said. Just, fucking retire, sell the club, just bow out gracefully. It's a real shame about David Sullivan and the way David Gold have run the club in the last few years, because I think if they'd have left just after the bowling season or when it wasn't working, I think they could have still walked away with their head held high.
Thing is though, mate, and I'm not sticking up for him here, but they did spend over 130 million the other summer and everyone was buzzing.
Yeah,
and that comes down to Pellegrini signed them players. He brought in some of the players that he brought in weren't right for the football club. He was given that money to spend, and he spent it wrong. But if it had gone the other way round and we would have finished in the Champions League that season, who would have got the credit? Pellegrini. But no one would have credited the board.
No, but you give them credit for if they've picked the right manager, then you can say they picked the right manager. If they pick the wrong manager, then it's on them. Like they hire someone, and at the end of the day, so you got to give credit to who's hired who. So if they've hired this geezer,
they should have showed Pellegrini ambition with Bilic the season we come here.
Yeah, but then some of the fans, yeah, that's fine. But the fans got on Bilic's back straight away when it all started going wrong. They was all up his arse when it was all going right at the Boleyn. As soon as he went wrong, they wanted him out the door. Yeah, they should have backed Bilic, but Bilic was a broken man at the end, and he had to go.
But if they'd have backed him, Pellegrini, if they'd have given him that sort of money that Pellegrini had when we moved from the bowling, I think it would have been.
But maybe they didn't have it then, mate. Maybe it was 2 seasons we needed at the London Stadium before we started spending money like that.
No, this TV money was still about then. They could, I think, you know what I mean. Like we was coming in with certain players, and Bilic came out and he said the situation was he would ask for a player and he'd go, "Can we do this player?" And they'd go around piss about, "No, you know what, you can get this next player down and next player." And it would come down to so many times with the players he'd get. He'd have to get like his 3rd, 4th choice at the end of the day because he weren't allowed to get his 1st and 2nd choices and 3rd choices. And that's just the way it was every single time. So the certain players that, that we signed under him at that time, a lot of it weren't even his 1st choices.
I think the point I'm trying to make is I'm sick of sitting here after a whole season when, even if they're spending money, it never seems to fall into place for us. You know what I mean? It never seems to go right.
They could spend 200 million and we wouldn't go anywhere under them.
No, I think that's a bit unfair on them. I think if they, pulled out more money and all of that sort of thing, but I don't think the money will go around. But look, we've got another manager. Hopefully his vision is similar to the to the chairman's vision, and he can sort of get us playing a certain way of football. And yeah, I'll be honest with you. As I said before, I was one of the cunts that turned around and writ him off day one and thought it was a backward step to go and get him.
We need it to click for him like it clicked at Everton, where he had so much control in that club, and he had his whole philosophy from.
The difference now, though, but we'll be time at Everton is obviously social media and that, and it's a lot.
Football's changed a lot.
Yeah, football's changed a lot from when David Moyes was in charge at Everton, and he was given time. He weren't given a lot of money to spend at Everton, but he got the right players playing. And he got them into Champions League one season. I think he even got them to an FA Cup final one year. David Moyes won't have as long at West Ham as he did it at Everton. That's a fact. Like, that's never going to happen. But I'd just like to see us, back him in the summer. Give him some money to spend. If we have to let him bring in the players he wants out of the club. If they have to go, let them go. You got to back him. You can't have people. You look when we first got him in the summer this season, and he lost his first game, or even when we drew at Sheffield United, people were putting up pictures of him as in a clown saying Moisey out. Like, you got to get behind these managers. It's not his fault. At the end of the day, he's coming to a job. But he's coming to a job, and he's done it twice. If Nick, if I said to you, "Oh, you got to deliver all these parcels today," and you've done it, and then I sacked you tomorrow, you think, "Well, I've done my job. Why are you sacking me?" You've got to give these people a chance.
They sacked him, didn't they, the first time after he done his job?
They didn't sack him.
They didn't renew him, whatever. Yeah. They didn't carry him on. Yeah, they didn't take him forward. But
I don't understand why people would want a manager because if the manager's doing badly, it means your team's doing badly. So why would you want that?
Well, exactly, but that's the problem, mate. Some fans do want him to fail so they can stick their fingers up at the board and say, "Oh, look, I told you so." Look, as you said, if the manager's doing well, West Ham are doing well, everyone should be happy. Whatever we think about the board, we've all got the same feelings about the board. We know they're not selling up next season. We've probably got another year of it, so let's just fucking stick with it for another year. Go through this, hopefully not this shit.
We'll be safe well before then.
Hopefully, Moyes will be given time, and he'll be able to. Because I like the way he thinks and his philosophy of what he wants to do at West Ham. He wants to bring through young players and things like that, and that sort of excites me that he wants to bring these sort of players in. So just give him a chance.
And look at these people in the comments. Look, having a go at us. Look, Rick Ferguson. We've stayed up, and you're still moaning. Rick, if I'd have told you last fucking July that we would scrape the fucking relegation with 2 games to go, would you have been happy with that?
This bloke Matt, who keeps commenting, saying, "Pretty sure when Moisey come in, you lot were slating him." Go back and watch the videos when Moisey, because I wasn't slating him. In fact, I was getting slated for backing him. So
it's but this is the thing. Like, at least, like Matt's saying, obviously, at least be honest and say that's your view at the time. Me and Nicky said, I explained in full clarity is when he came in, I said, basically, the fact that we're now going back to Moyes, you know what I mean? It's a shambles that we're going back to Moyes, and I wasn't a fan of him. But I've said this weeks ago, before when it even looked like we might be going down, we might as well stick with him next season. And because 1, we're not going to get rid of him, who we're going to get, and 2, well, let's see what he does. I'm still not, you know what I mean? Like I said, there's certain things of his that he's done that I like. There's still things that he's done that I don't like. However, I want to see what he can do with a full season. Then the question marks will be gone from Moyes once we have a full season, because when he was with us, there's always that question mark. Oh, he only had this time. What can he do? I'm not sitting there trying to rewrite history and say, oh, we was always Moyes. I was Moyes' biggest cheerleader. I never asked for him to be sacked. But, that is what
but if you go back to, as I said, Moyes wasn't my first choice. He wasn't. But I said I'm not going to get on his back because I want him to keep us up. So, and he's done that. He's done what he's been brought in to do. So now, all we're asking now is that we just have a good pre-season. He gets in the signings he wants, and then if after about 10 games next season we're struggling at the bottom, then we'll start judging him. We'll start saying, right, he's brought in his players. It's not working. Maybe not 10 games, but what football's like. People want you out after 1 loss.
Yeah, I think for some people, obviously in the comments, are expecting us to obviously come on and have a big party time and just be. But there's obviously still issues.
We're saving that for the end of season review.
Yeah, there's still
when still reflect on it, you know, I've showed my joy last week that I was happy that we stayed up. But when you reflect on it as a season, like, don't forget, we pay our fucking money to go over there. It's not like we're fucking sitting here on our cameras all the time. We're sitting here on our cameras because it's fucking lockdown. We pay our money to go and watch that football, and to have it shoved in our face like performances like we had before lockdown and all of that sort of stuff, the stuff that we've had to fucking endure season after season, fucking long old trips up to Burnley and things like that to watch fucking Roberto slapping him in his own net. It's not good enough. You know, it's. I watched it.
Let that one go. He's not going to let that one go.
I watched the highlights today, and I'll never forget it because I forgot this. Right, we conceded 5 goals. The last one was a goal, and he slipped over for another one that should have been a goal. And I was thinking to myself, I can just imagine my face when it was that long old trip up to Burnley. That was a fucking long trip as well, traffic and everything else. And I watched him slap that ball into his own net. He's tried to slap it that way, and somehow he's gone that way. And I remember looking at him going, "What's going on?"
The thing is, it hasn't been a great season. We know that, and we're all sitting here now. Every West Ham fan, once we confirmed it against Man United, we're all happy that we stayed up. And yeah, we was all happy on Wednesday night because we stayed up. But when as you say, we're going to sit back and we're going to do another video reflecting on the whole season properly. But it hasn't been great. But at least we're a Premier League team. That's all I can say. Well, at least we've got that chance now to start again, rebuild. Everyone starts again in the summer. You know, hopefully we can bring in a few new players that are going to definitely improve not only the squad, but the first team. And then obviously get rid of players that don't really want to be here and they don't want to play for the badge and don't care. And the first thing we've got to do is get Declan Rice signed and done. Because from what I've seen after the game, you know, I don't really want to take too much into it, but he's obviously come out, he's done a video for the fans, thanking them for the Hammer of the Year, and he's like, see you soon and looking forward to next season. And I just got this feeling that, and I said this before, it might come back to bite me, but I just think Declan Rice might just show a bit of loyalty to West Ham, and I think he will stay. I really do.
I hope so.
I think it was his choice. His choice. If they turn around and said to him, look, it's completely your choice. Do you want to go to Chelsea? You want to go to Man City? You want to go to Man United? Or do you want to stay here? I think you'll say stay here. The problem is if a bid that's too big comes in for him, they won't be able to turn it down.
And you can't blame
his hands in, isn't it?
And you can't blame him. If a bid comes in for about £90 million for a club like West Ham, that's a lot of money to turn down for a player. So it is something they're definitely going to have to look at. But I would, if it was me, I'll turn the £90 million down for Declan because I just want him at West Ham and I want him to be our future captain.
I don't think we could replace him.
You couldn't replace a Declan Rice.
No.
He's been unbelievable. Even today, he had an off game, and I still thought he was one of our best players on the pitch.
I think
I blocked that geezer, by the way. He called us clowns. The thing is about, just before you go on to the next point, the thing is about West Ham Fan TV is we're here to give you a platform. We're here to give every West Ham fan a platform. I'll sit here for hours and hours and hours and hours a week, listening to your fan cams, listening to your comments on the thingy, reading out your comments, everything else, giving you all a platform. Don't call me a clown for having an opinion.
Well, just don't watch.
Yeah. If you don't watch it, don't watch it. But don't sit there calling me a clown because I don't agree with you. Because I don't.
All right, Coco, get on with it.
I hate that. You know what I mean? As I say.
Yeah, I know, mate. I just
this is the one show that we really get to sort of like get into the depths of it between ourselves. And I just don't like being like, normally we don't have comments when we're live, but you know, I just don't like being called a clown. It's my opinion. If I don't agree with you, then just say I don't agree. You don't have to sit there fucking insulting me. Otherwise, I'll just fucking log off now and we'll just leave it as it is.
Obviously, Declan was named Hammer of the Year today. I've seen. I was watching the watch along, and I know Dan weren't happy. He wanted 2 awards.
Yeah, no, because it's true though. Like I said, if
you win a Hammer of the Year as well.
What's that? Yeah, did he win Hammer of the Year?
I think they only done 1 award this year. I don't because that was the only thing you could vote on. Usually they do Young Hammer and Goal of the Season and all that. I think they've just done Hammer of the Year like
maybe a little bit after, and they thought we want to do the hammer of the year presentation after the game. Maybe we'll do, but no. To me, I would have liked to have seen two players. I would have liked to seen Declan get honoured and Ogbonna get honoured, and everyone's a winner. Everyone's happy. But it's like, and it's a shame. But if it does go to young Hammer, you might as well give it to Ben Johnson. You might as well, because who else are you going to give it to? Really? What?
Ben Johnson? He's played one fucking game.
I'd give it to Declan Rice. So he does the double.
You're going to give it to Ngaki to bring him back?
Listen, if that's
2-3 games,
you can't. Dan, this is
who else is there?
I don't think you can't understand the way it works. You can't just hand it out to who the fuck you think deserves it. It's a fan's vote.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking to the fans.
I think it would have been pretty close. I think it was it. As I said the other night, like my vote went for Declan Rice, but I would have been happy if Ogbonna would have won it because I just think
I voted for Ogbonna, and I just think
Ogbonna's had a great season. But I just think for me, Declan Rice, you don't at 21 years old to play every single minute of every single game. It's unheard of these days. I mean, the last West Ham player to do it, I think, was Frank Lampard for West Ham in the 97-98 season.
Listen, I haven't got a problem with it. I think Declan Rice absolutely deserves it. I just think he could have got the young hammer. Ogbonna could have got the hammer. Boom, boom, boom. Two players get it. They both feel good. Everyone's a winner. That's why
they should have given Ogbonna one of them. You remember them Herbie the Hammers that they used to sell in the club shop? Should have given him one of them.
Slap in the face.
Oh no, that went it's up when Timmy Mallet sued West Ham.
Yeah. What was that? What? Yeah, you remember I want to see Super Sponge come in the shop. That's who I want to buy.
Super Sponge.
Do you remember Super Sponge in the fucking 90s? Every time there was an injury, fucking Super Sponge on the screen.
He's come up on the screen, isn't it? He's come up on the screen.
That's
funny enough, look, see a little West Ham midfielder Declan Rice has become the fourth player to play every minute of a Premier League season age 21, along with Gary Kelly 93-94, Frank Lampard 98-99, and Wayne Bridge 2001 and 2002.
It just shows how important he really is to the team. I don't want to go because we obviously talked about him ad nauseum, but yeah, it just shows how important he is, and we want to build around him. And with the transfer window, obviously, I don't want to get too much into this whole sell to buy stuff, but I'm willing to wait and see if that really is true. I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna get too much on the bandwagon. I'm gonna wait and see what we do. And then I'm going to give my full judgments. It's hard when you.
To be honest, Dan, I think it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same for a few clubs, sort of round about us. There's not. Well, the current situation. There's not going to be the money there. You know,
we have. I think the money's there. I agree with
that, and I said that the other day. I think there is money there. I think it's maybe not as much as what we want it to be, but there will be a budget there, and then they've got the rest. They've got to sort of get from selling other players on.
Yeah, because we've got to get these signings in, like these targets. We can't just wait a few weeks until we sell, or a month until we sell our players. And the thing is, what I was saying when Nicky logged off is with the players. I know we've all identified who we want to sell and Anderson and that, but if we're going to get like someone's going to offer us like a 15 million for Anderson, there's no point.
Yeah, there's no point looking at something like that.
Yeah, like those players.
I agree with you. I think there will be some money there, but it won't be as much as if everything had just carried on as normal.
Yeah, we're not going to slap down. But I'm saying we shouldn't have to sell to buy. Like if they want 20 million for Eze, for example, we should be able to say, look, here's your 20 million for Eze, and then still work on trying to.
I remember when we had to sell Andy Impey just to balance the books. that was in fucking 98.
I didn't even know he's gone. He was expecting him to come through the door.
But no, look, the rebuilding started the other day once we announced the Souček signing. And one thing I've liked about David Moyes as well, you see him at all these championship clubs and scouting, and you know, if that's the way he wants to work, I'd rather a manager go and scout a player than a scout, if that makes sense, because the manager's the one that's got to play him. So.
Yeah, see if he's going to fit into his style of play, doesn't he? You know,
we've got to talk about is the fact that know we spoke a little bit about it last week, and you know, there's rumours rumbling from all sorts of thingy, but we've had the health secretary come out this week and say, look, it's going to be very difficult for a whole year to have more than 20% capacity. It's not even a fucking it was going to be like a couple of weeks there. Now, you know, it's going to be very difficult to have 25% crowds, more than 25% crowds in the thingy. Should they bother until everyone's allowed back?
I don't see the point in having 14,500 people in that stadium. What is the point?
How do you decide as well who's gonna, you know?
I think they should put out sort of like a vote or email everyone separately, because every season ticket holder or whatever's got their email address, and just ask them, say, would you feel comfortable coming back? Because you might be surprised that they might not even get 25% of people say they want to come back. So it's a difficult one. I'm with you. I'd rather keep it empty. You know, no fans. You know, because it's not because say everyone wants to go back, which we all do want to go back. Let's be honest, but only when it's safe. So it's going to be difficult to sort of do it. But yeah, it is worrying to think that they're talking about another. It could go on for the whole season. You know,
for the whole season. I've got no fucking doubt about it, right?
Yeah, it's worrying. It's worrying, really, to think that we wouldn't have. When was the last game we went at home? Southampton, wasn't it? At the end of February.
Yeah.
So to think you could go the rest of this season, we haven't been. The whole of next season, you could be looking at nearly 2 years before you go back to West Ham.
That's fucking mad, isn't it? Thinking about it.
And then in our luck, next season we'll have the best season ever. We'll finish top 4, win the FA Cup, and we can't be there to see it.
I'd force my way in, mate. I don't care. I would.
As soon as we go back, we'll be in the bottom 3.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're saying with bad luck is basically what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's worrying times.
But I ain't trying to be there for no 85% capacity to sit there in a mostly empty arena. You know, hearing a few people trying to get bubbles going and all of that. And it's not.
Have no fans will cost the club millions of pounds. To have a 75% out of the thing will cost them millions of pounds. They might as well just take the full whack. I don't know whether they can get an insurance scheme going or whatever, or
they might have to do like a Patreon, like a GoFundMe page.
But check this then. If they're going to have more games on telly, right, next season, surely there's got to be a bit more TV money coming in.
I think there'll be more TV rights. There'll be you'll see more sponsorship deals, like even silly things like when they have a water break, you'll have an advert come up or something stupid like that.
Well, yeah, because Sky are running adverts. Sky and BT Sport are obviously running adverts on all our games. They're extra games they wouldn't be running adverts on, right? So that's more money coming in. So surely we must get more money from them because they're making more money, right? No, but that's what I'm saying. If they're making more money, then that money should filter down and trickle down to us because we should be allowing them more games. Like the Premier League's giving them more games, so they have to.
It might require some sort of renegotiation about what they. Yeah,
because they're contracted for a certain amount of games, aren't they? They have a contract.
The thing is, when you think about what the club bringing in gate revenue, compared to what they bring in
TV,
in TV revenue, it's minute. The TV company, with, as you say, with the extra games, a relaxation of the rules of not showing 3 PM games, extra adverts being run, and all of this sort of thing, they could fucking cover that, no problem, no problem.
Things I've always thought, like, the money they get, and like you say, the money that the fans put into the club compared to the TV money, that they need fans there.
The problem is like the Premier League will be fine, Championship at a push, but it's the lower leagues that are really going to struggle. Really,
some of that money's got to start filtering its way down.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of clubs going out of business soon, and it's a shame. It's a shame, but.
That's why they slap a lot of money on their players, like in terms of transfers. So
you don't realise how lucky we've sort of played in the Premier League.
Do us a favour personally, because it might force companies like Delaware North that rely on the catering and all that. They ain't going to get nothing. They're going to get fuck all. And even if there's 25% fans left in there, they're going to get a very small portion of the money that would filter through normally, even if there's 25% fans. And I'll be honest with you, if there's 25% fans, I'm not one of them.
Imagine if they charge like for a sort of monthly subscription to the West Ham games worldwide, how much money they'll make.
Oh, yeah.
They've looked at that sort of thing with.
They're talking about a Premier League Netflix, aren't they?
Yeah, like a Netflix model and all that thing. And it would be
brilliant.
It might force around early. You know, they might have to pay back the millions and billions that they get from, they get from the TV companies to make their own subscription model. You know, just null and void it if there's no fans available, just to give that sort of Netflix model of football. But that's what I'm saying. You know, there is revenue streams to be got, because, you know, I'm sure, you know, an advert between an Arsenal and Man United game is worth a lot of money, you know, and you know, well, any Premier League game, to be fair, and you know, they could easily cover the costs with the extra games being shown with, you know, advert money or whatever. Easily. That's why they can play billions and billions and billions of pounds for TV rights as it is. An extra 3 billion on top of, you know, the 120 billion that they fucking pay us over 5 years or whatever ain't going to be, you know, it ain't going to break the bank.
I wonder how this is going to affect the OLDC, because obviously, do you think they're saving money because they're not doing the conversion, but at the same time they're not doing their events?
This is what I'm saying. Is you know, it could work in West Ham's favour in a way. My camera's going to run out of battery, so I might have to switch camera to the pixels in a minute. But yeah, it could do us a favour, because, you know, people like Delaware North that have got contracts, will they want to keep them contracts if they're not getting any revenue? Probably not. So that might give us a chance to renegotiate there. You know, regardless of what happens with crowds or whatever, they've still got to convert the stadium. We still pay the same amount of rent. Will they want to keep on doing that if there's fucking no one going there? You know, because if there's other things there, they've still got to move the stands about. It still costs them £8 million, you know, and they're losing money for revenue from caterers and program sellers and all of that sort of bollocks. I don't know. It might push.
Well, they're not going to have no concerts there or baseball there, are they? They can't have anything.
No, I suppose
they can't have nothing there, can they? So, yeah, that's the worrying thing for me is that it could be like nearly 2 years before we go back to football. And the thing is, for me, it makes you think that if you're out of it that long, you might get so used to not going that you might not want to go again. You know, that's the sort of worrying thing, isn't it? You might get so used to watching it at home and doing things like this and everything live that you might not want to go back. I mean, we all probably will go back, but
I think it's 50-50. I think a part of it there'll be a bit of novelty and excitement, won't it? The idea of we haven't been able to do this thing, now you can do it. And I think
you're going to have to look at the fucking
part of the going to the game is all us lot getting together and seeing each other.
Oh yeah. If you saw, there were some fans, weren't there, who went down to the ground today, weren't there? There was a few people that went down to
around Stratford, didn't they? For
like an end of season thing. But yeah, like I said, it's got to go back to normal with pubs and everything. Really, be fit for you to have a proper match day experience.
We might not have any pubs to go back to. They might all be shut down.
Yeah.
It's worrying times. Let's just hope, though, it ain't as long as that. Let's hope that at least some point next season we can get back to going. Even if they said it's going to be the second half of the season or the last 10 home games or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Let's just hope and pray.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, I've never known, I mean, I've never lived, none of us have ever lived through a pandemic before, but, you know, it's just, you know, shockingly bad to show out, you know, what it can do to society, you know, as a whole. You know, it's not just football; it's everything. Everything's changing. You know, the way we shop, the way we work, the way, you know, everything. It's changed the whole world. The whole world is on its knees, to be quite honest with you. And it's just, you know, football. Unfortunately, because of the nature of it and the, you know, the passion in it and the screaming and the shouting and the fighting, unfortunately, comes with it. It'll be the last thing that comes back unless they put pressure on the government. And, you know, they start putting pressure on the government and the government fold, you know, we could see a second spike and the whole thing will be called off. So I don't know.
Well, let's see what happens. Anyway. But at least we end the season a Premier League club, despite all of the madness and all the catastrophes. We end the season going in back into the Premier League next season, so that's something to be happy about.
Yeah, that's the main thing when it was making sure that we was a Premier League team. I mean, if you'd have gone back to February time, I thought we looked one of the probably dead certs to be relegation, the way we was playing and that. But no, I think we've done well to get ourselves out of it. Since lockdown, we've played better football. We've grinded out results, got some good wins. And yeah, as Dan said, the main thing is we're a Premier League team and we can build on that going into next season.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's it.
There's always a chance. Yeah, no matter who the manager is, who the owners are, as long as you're in the competition, you've always got a chance to do something good, no matter what. Anything can happen in the Premier League.
The crazy thing is, at the beginning of the season, if someone would have said to you, you're going to end the season with David Moyes in charge, you'd have thought like, nah, mate, you're talking about 2 years ago.
Yeah, man.
I mean, when you look at it, we had a good start of the season. We had a decent end. It's just a bit in the middle that was shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, which is usual way it goes. But let's see what happens next season. I'm looking forward to meeting up with you guys and doing the end of season review. And then I suppose after we make a few signings, we'll do the predictions for next season, which is always fun. And we'll look back.
We'll finish fifth.
I can't wait to. I'm looking forward to doing our reaction to our predictions from last season because I really enjoyed doing that at the beginning of this one.
I'm sure I said on that video that Pellegrini gets sacked by November and Moyes are coming.
Oh yeah, do you know what? If you said that, I'm giving up.
I can't even remember what I said. I'm looking forward to watching that back as well.
9th or 10th.
Yeah, you was really brought down after the last prediction.
I think I said
he learned his lesson.
I'm sure I said as long as we finish in the top fucking 19 or something like that, I'll be happy or something like that.
The top 19,
whatever it was, top 18 or whatever it was, 17.
You was right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. It'd be good to meet up with you guys back in person and that precautions all in there and I think it'll be a good laugh. We're in good spirits, I think.
Just quickly before we start to sort of wind the season down, on a lighter note because it's been so fucking serious again. What do you think of the new kit?
Yeah, I thought it looked nice.
Yeah, so
I like it.
I'll be honest, like it was when I see the press shots, I didn't really like it, and then when I see it in a club shop and I bought it, I actually like it. But when I see it on the players with the white shorts and the white socks, I think it's gone back to obviously its tradition, and I think it looks really nice.
I liked the shirt from this year. I just didn't like the set. I think the one that you've got on now is the best one that we'll have for fucking donkey's years to come.
Yeah, we never got to wear it that much.
Talking about bad kits, have you seen Man City's fur kit for next year?
No, I ain't.
Oh, mate, it's awful.
So talking about bad kits, how bad was Aston Villa's away kit?
Yeah, that was
fucking horrible, wasn't
it? Yeah. I mean, no, that was I said that during the stream. I was horrified by that. I don't know what the fuck they was thinking there.
Yeah, it was like a Spider-Man kit.
Yeah, Man City's one looks like something James May wear on fucking Top Gear or something.
What is it? Is it pink?
No, it's a
paisley pattern.
Green thing.
With all the patterns on it. Oh yeah, fucking.
Are you talking about Man City's?
Man City, yeah. Looks like a pair of like 70s pajamas or something.
Yeah, well, I think that's it with our, at least with our kits. They might not be the most like revolutionary, and they played it so it could be a lot worse. We could have a lot worse kits looking at some other teams.
But what are we doing about? Are we? Because you said last week it was the last Friday night at Pint. Is that we're not carrying it on then, or are you having a couple of weeks off?
We'll do one more. We'll do one more. Last Pint of the season. The season's finished now. So
just carry on, just talk shit every Friday.
Oh yeah, all right, well, whatever.
Yeah, fucking carry it on.
We just talk nonsense.
Fuck all else to do it Friday, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. We can't go out. Can't go out clubbing.
Are you wearing your face mask in the shops?
I got yeah. You have to. Look at this. I got my mum's mate made this a proper West Ham one. None of this Mickey Mouse one to do at the club shop. What?
Cut up your pants. What's that?
It's a fucking West Ham. Look.
Yeah, I got a couple.
That's proper, like, got the old badge on it as well.
It feels weird walking around like I walked around the shops yesterday and like you walk in the shop and you got to put it on. And it's weird. Like
I feel like a complete idiot when I wear it, but you got to.
I don't, because everyone else is doing it. So
I might get.
I see this. I went in the shop earlier. This geezer walked in. The guy's trying to tell him, "Oh, you can't come in without a mask." The guy just goes like that.
Starts walking around. See, the thing is, a year ago, if you'd have walked into a shop with a face mask on, alarm bells would be ringing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The thing is, as well, like you find yourself you're walking around like and you're sort of judging people's like masks. Oh, look at their mask. Well, they've got a good one. I want their one.
Honest, up until today, I nicked a load of fucking paper ones from work, but I've got a cloth one now.
Yeah, I got a couple of West Ham ones. I got the black one from the club shop that my mum picked up for me. And
you didn't buy the half and half one, did you? Free for 17 quid one.
No. And the other one I got is it's got the old badge on it, and it's got like "Come on, you irons" on it or something like that. So yeah, they're the ones I'm wearing.
I might go around dressed up.
I just got exposed paper ones.
This actually looks like an old quilt cover I had a bed set like this. Actually,
it looks like cups at West Ham Y fronts or something.
Y fronts. No, leave it out. My mum's friend, made this. He's got a little
camera.
No, but the way you're holding it up like that, it looks like a pair of Y fronts.
I'll tell you what that is. That's an old duvet set because I had that duvet set. That's the 1890 set.
I think we had that, but yeah, I think she probably made it, cut it, and then sewed it. It's all homemade, handmade.
No, but the way you was holding it like that, the shape looked like a pair of Y fronts.
Y fronts. You'll be sucking in some fucking 8-year-old's piss that he's been pissed his bed every.
oh, bloody hell! Actually, that's pretty brand new.
When he got into a teenager, I don't want to tell you what else you'd be sucking in.
But fucking
Gray.
By the way, that's very telling of what the sort of underwear Graham wears, right? If you wear, what are you wearing? Like little man thongs or something, Gray?
No, I wear boxers, mate. I wear boxers.
I don't know what you were talking about. If you said that looks like the sort of underwear you wear, that's very man thong type.
I ain't worn pants since I was about 10.
Someone said in the comments, Nick, 2 pixels now. You've got an extra pixel.
Where'd that come? You have. There's one right. Yeah. Well, what was you going to say, mate?
I was going to say, can you smell your roast dinner? Because you look like you're edging to the door.
I can, mate. It's wafting up the stairs. I'm starving.
Right. Let's wrap it up then, so Graham can get some food. Poor guy.
Yeah, we'll be back. When we're going to do, we'll sort it out during the week when we're going to do the end of season review. We'll have a couple of days off.
Stay tuned. Stay in touch with our social medias, and we'll keep you all updated. Facebook, Twitter, and all that. We'll keep you updated on what we're doing.
Where's Nicky gone? Oh, you're back.
What? What?
That looked like it disappeared. It just went.
Just releasing the paint off my arsehole because I've been sitting here all day. Thank you very much for joining us on this West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint. Thank you very much for joining us for this season for West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint. It's obviously lasted a fucking lot longer than we thought it was going to last. So thank you so much to everyone for joining us for everything this season. As Ryan said, we're not going away anywhere. We're going to be creating content. But that is the last post-match pint you'll see until at least September. So maybe some pre-season ones or a pre-season one before we get going. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Listen, this channel is nothing without the people that sit here and watch this every Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It is zero without you guys. And listen, we all appreciate everybody, even people that are calling us clowns. You might get
even if you don't agree with us, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we still appreciate that you watch, and we still appreciate that you get involved and all of that sort of stuff. Does anyone want to say anything?
No, just to echo what you said. Like, thanks for everyone for tuning in, especially during lockdown. It's been hard to get content out, but I think the Friday night pints have gone down really well. Everyone seems to like it. We'd obviously love to be doing fan cams outside the London Stadium, but obviously Nicky and Dan have split it between them to do the fan cams and the watch-alongs and things like that. So it's been tough, but no, yeah, just thanks to everyone that's stuck by us during these difficult times. And if we've entertained at least one person, then we've done our job.
And thanks to all of our patrons as well, the people that have supported us throughout the lockdown period. We launched our Patreon probably at the worst time that history has ever had a day that we can launch. We launched on March 23rd, which if anyone ever remembers, that was the day when we locked everything down. But then people have kept on supporting us. They've put money into the coffers. We can get new equipment. We're looking for a lot of new stuff for next season. Probably not season tickets, but but they do get some good. Not as many as we'd like to have given, but they get some perks. Extra content and all that sort of stuff, which we will be, again, me and Dan are going to sit down and the other boys as well, but me and Dan are going to sit down and reschedule everything that's going to go on and make sure there's, regular content for not only the subscribers of the channel, but especially the patrons, because they've been the ones that have really supported us. And, a lot of people, when money's tight to come by, they're showing a lot of faith in us, and we will repay that faith. We've got big plans in the coffers. We've got big plans for websites and to expand the channel and get other people involved and all of that sort of stuff. So please, if you can, check out our Patreon. If you can't, just click the subscribe button, because it all means so much to us.
Yeah. A thumbs up, a share, whatever you can do, a comment.
And also hit that bell so you don't
hit
the bell.
Hit that bloody bell.
But I said to everyone, we want to go for 100k next year when we come back, because of the money we'll have coming in from patrons, because of we'll be able to pay for things, we'll be able to pay for somewhere, hopefully to do post-match Pint. I might have a job by then. If we get so many patrons, I might not have to go back to a job. This might become our job. So, it helps so much. And
we get a lunch break on this job. We get a lunch break. Do we get an hour's lunch on this?
You owe me £3 at the end of the week.
Someone made a comment. He's right. I've got to get on that Discord. I've got to set that Discord up.
Thing is, as well, big thanks to we don't shout them out much, but Facebook as well. The people from Facebook that watch us and follow us. We've got nearly 17,000 likes on that page. So if you don't, head over to Facebook, follow, like that. Obviously, follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. We'll be doing more Instagram things next year as well.
Yeah, the whole thing.
What Ryan will do for fans only.
Well, what?
Mate, as long as I get a lunch break, I'll do anything.
It's hard with the Instagram because our content was like going to the game. Look at this stadium. We're on our way. We're doing this. I don't know what to Instagram indoors. Like, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Just do follow Dan's cooking lessons or something.
They can watch me do some editing or something. But yeah, like now, obviously, like Nicky said, it hit us out of nowhere, but we're going to really prepare all of the watch alongs. I'm going to try and get it so we've got a timer up. We're going to come back. Everything's going to have a little bit more professional quality to it. So we get a little bit of time to prepare now. We're not just smacked with it and we don't know what to expect. So it's going to be, the watch alongs are going to be even better. Yeah.
Hit that notification bell.
Obviously, when we can start meeting up regularly as well, it just gives a new vibe and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah,
that's going to be a weird moment, isn't it, when we meet up, because we ain't seen each other since March.
Yeah.
We used to see each other all the time, every week.
Oh, that's one question I've got to answer as well, because this has been a bit of a sore subject. Is that after 3 months becoming a top tier patron, you get a T-shirt. It's going to be a unique T-shirt. There's going to be unique T-shirts going out to patrons. They are still coming, mate. I'm just waiting for the designer to come back from his sort of lockdown thing. I know he's back now, but he's been working on other projects that he had in the works before we locked down. But as soon as he can get round to ours, I got a message from him the other day saying he's going to get round to us very, very soon. As soon as he gets round to that, mate, I'll set up a new store. I'll send you a link, pay your postage, and your T-shirt will be on the way. That'll be it. Everyone that's an £8 patron will have a code to claim one. So, yeah.
Lovely jubbly.
Fair dues.
Fair dues. But Nicky will keep you all updated with the posts on the Patreon, so he'll keep you updated on there anyway if you are a Patreon.
Hit that notification bell. How are you on?
Facebook, Twitter, and all the stuff that we don't use, that we're going to start using very soon. As once again, thank you so much for supporting us this season. It means so much to us. 50k it's a lot of people. But next season we want to start pushing for that 100K, because I think once we get over that, then this channel becomes a lot more significant to getting your voices out there. So, do us if you ain't already. One thing left to say, lads.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.